Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're doing a really super quick page using a brain dump as a background. So I had these really messy pages in my journal that I really didn't like and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But I was having a really tough day. The day that I was doing this, I was really struggling. I had a lot going through my mind and I just wanted to empty my brain. So before I even began to think about what I was doing, I chose a page in my journal. This is a page I ended up journaling on, and I just wrote. I didn't stop, I just kept going. I didn't care about spelling, I didn't care about how neat it was. I didn't particularly actually want anyone to read this afterwards because there was a lot of personal stuff that I was just dumping out on the page. And I just wrote and wrote and wrote. And, you know, some things were repeated because they were really bothering me. Other things, it's just like blah, 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 blah. So this is a technique I use a lot, even in class when I'm teaching the kids. It's a really great way to empty your brain. Now, when I teach it to the kids in class, it's actually usually before we do a story writing session. And I get the kids just to write. And there's no rhyme or reason. They just need to write. So it might be about waking up in the morning and what happens. And what inevitably happens is they start off sort of writing about what's happened in the morning, and then they end up writing about, you know, how they're really sad because their dog ran away and they really love their dog and they'd like to get another dog or something. So something that's been bothering them that they hadn't even really been thinking about, but it's just been sitting there in the back of their mind. And they always sort of say, I didn't even know I could write that much. So it's a really interesting technique, but I suppose art therapy, self-help wise, it's a really great way of just emptying your brain. And if you go back and read over it afterwards, or even as you're doing it, certainly I do, I'm not going to say everyone does, have this moment of realization. It's like, oh, that's what's bothering me. So that's what this background's all about. Now, some people may feel really sort of confronted by having all that personal journaling on their page, but as you can see, I've already painted a border over the edges. I used the black gesso first because I really wanted to use this shimmery paint over the top just to give it a bit of a base. So, you know, the border of the first words are all gone, so it's not really going to make much sense. And I also knew I was going to stick some collage over the top. And there you go, most of my writing's gone already. So for me, it was really therapeutic because I was able to get everything out of my brain that I wanted to. I've got this funky collage over the top. The background has done what it's needed to. It's broken up that really ugly background I had. You know, it's still not particularly pretty, but at least it's better than it was with that little pop of white on it. And now I've got my magazine collage on top. So if you ever get stuck for a background, or if you just need to get stuff off your chest, this is a really great technique to do. And I know for some people, you might do all that writing and then want to paint over the top of it, or you might want to stencil over the top of it to hide your writing even further. So I would really encourage you to have a go. And it doesn't always have to be, you know, deep, dark, depressing secrets that you're writing out. Sometimes it can be, you know, this is why life's so wonderful at the moment. I'm really enjoying this. Or, you know, I love doing my art journaling because of this, and this. It's totally up to you. It's just about getting your hand moving on the page. It's a really great warm-up to do before you either write or art. So it's one for the technique bank, I suppose. So with my collage, I've used some stuff from a magazine, so a fashion magazine. I've also combined that with some of the Di Reevely collage sheets, which are really handy too. Now, most of her sheets are stuff that she's cut out of magazines and decorated and designed. So if it doesn't have the bits you want, just go to a magazine and add some extras in. So, you know, I really encourage you to mix and match and have a go. For those who aren't too or aren't sure how to start with magazine collage, the Di Reevely ones sort of are a really good model. You can have a look at those sheets and go, oh, that's what she's done there. Oh, I can do that if I had a magazine too. So you can kind of use them as a little bit of a template. So I'm just going in over the top with my paint pens. I've outlined everything in black. That helps it sort of pop off the page a little bit more. It also kind of makes the images a little bit 2D, a little bit cartoony, which I really like. And with the printed Di Reevely sheets, you can see with particularly with that red, because they're printed on matte paper, the colours are always going to be a little bit duller, so the black's never going to be a true black. That red wasn't a true red. So by putting the paint pens over the top, you can really boost the colours again. And just because it is coloured on her images doesn't mean that you can't go back in and recolour them. So again, just use it as a bit of a template and change as you like. I'm now going in with another permanent marker and adding some stripy stockings, which I really like doing to my figures. And then she's going to have red and black stripy stockings because, you know, why not? It goes with turquoise and brown, doesn't it? So now I've got my really funky girl on this page, and I am just drying it off as I go. So paint pens do dry quite quickly, but I tend to always find the wet spot and put my hand straight in it. So I do tend to sort of heat set it as I go along, but you could always have a tissue or something, put your hand on top of that. So each to their own. I just know me, I know I'm a mess, so I tend to heat as we go. This is another title that I picked up out of a magazine. So again, you can get your words from different places. And I just really like that Life's Quiet Awakenings, because that's what the background was for me. Having that time to just write all that junk in the back and have that time to reflect was sort of a bit of a quiet awakening for me. It sort of clarified a lot of things that were going through my head. The fact that the magazine collage doesn't necessarily go with it, you know, she looks a bit crazy, crazy thoughts in the background, so you know, it works. I don't mind, but it did what it needed to do. So I hope you have a go at trying the brain dump background, and until next time, bye for now.